Flutter Sunday Show, episode 2. Welcome everyone to Flutter Sunday Show. Majid is here. Another Sunday. You're chilling out, sitting, waiting for Monday to start. And I hope that you are all ready for an overview on what has happened for Flutter and Dart in the last 7 days. I'm not gonna keep you waited. Let's go and check it out. All right. So first of all, Flutter team were pretty busy last 7 days. I have checked both Flutter Engine Freepo and Flutter Framework, and I will actually update you right now. This was fantastic. So, for example, in Flutter Engine, I could have gone to page 5 in the closed PRs for the last 7 days. This is amazing. This is fantastic. Kudos to the team. Among all of those PRs, I checked them. I checked many of them, of course, but among those PRs, one of them was very, very interesting to me. And I think it's also very interesting to you. So I think I talked about it last week in Flutter Sunday Show version 1. And that was about the accessibility regarding scrolling in iOS. And the PR was reversed due to some problems, apparently. So according to the description, the previous PR is causing internal test failure. So they had to revert and resend this PR. But that's good because this PR now is landed on the master of Flutter Engine. And that's related to actually an issue where some people reported, and also Flutter team recognized that scroll down and up, apparently it's not working on iOS voice control. And this is a big hope that this PR is going to fix this problem. And again, accessibility is a very important topic. So kudos to the team for fixing this issue. But back to the Flutter Framework repo. Again, a lot of PR were merged, and I could this week, for the last 7 days, I could even go up to page 6, and this was amazing. Like so many PRs, so many bugs, and even features. This week I have seen 2-3 PR were labeled as new feature to Flutter. That's quite exciting. So let's actually get through some of them. So one of the PRs where caught my eye was Audit hashCode overreads outside of package Flutter. So, and that's going to replace custom hashCode implementations with object.hash, hashall, and hashall unordered. But that is quite interesting PR. You will definitely see that, how they replaced the overread hashCode with object.hash. And so I strongly recommend you to check that out. And if you have been waiting for this due to some problems, so this is now landed on master. One of the PR actually that caught my eye was related to Flutter tools. This was like an internal PR where merged to master, and that was fixing some kind of issue where analyzed once. One of the tests probably were failed locally due to some reason, and they actually converted to an integration test instead. The reason that it caught my eye was the reasoning behind changing what it was previously and changing that to an integration test instead. So this is interesting because we can learn from that and see how maybe if you have similar issue in your application, you can maybe like follow this example and make your test work again. All right, we have a pre-release for Flutter Beta version. So if you're using Flutter Beta, that's a candidate version 24. So sooner or later, we will probably see a new version for Flutter Beta. So keep in mind that we have some new updates for Flutter Beta if you are on beta channel. All right, so there was another PR which was interesting as well, and that was adding render object element depreciations to Dart fix. So hopefully soon we also see that in Dart fix. In addition to the new depreciation added to the Dart fix, also there is another one in another PR, which was AndroidViewController.id, which is now added to the Dart fix. And that is apparently depreciated in sometimes around June 2020. So that's also added for your information. Hopefully soon we will see that in stable. Last week we have talked about Flutter CLI, and we've seen how big this CLI is. So, and there were a lot of PRs around that last week, and this week also I have seen several PRs related to migration Flutter CLI tool to null safety. There were a couple of PRs where introducing new features, and one of them was introducing a scroll metrics notification. So this is a notification that a scrollable widget's scroll metrics has changed. For example, let's say if a scrollable is altered and, making it larger or smaller, and this notification will be dispatched. Similarly, for example, if the size of a window or parent changes. So this is interesting. Maybe you need some kind of event to be triggered by changing this window. So if you've been waiting for this event, then it's landed on master. Maybe you can go ahead and check this out. All right, there was one issue regarding DismissDirection.none, which is preventing scrolling in list view apparently. And that was an open bug. If you have this issue, I have a good news for you, because now on master, this issue is resolved. So if you have this problem, you can definitely check out the master and build and see if this issue is fixed for you. So if you have a problem of seeing Android and iOS devices after even you're turning them off, so I have a good news again, is that there is a PR landed on master, which is going to resolve this issue as well. So if you had this issue, go ahead and check out master and see if you still see this problem. All right, so if you have seen a failure on building your iOS app on M1 ARM Max, I have a good news for you that there is a PR which is going to resolve iOS app with extension checks that is failing on M1 ARM Max. All right, so if you are building for Flutter Web and you face some kind of severe crash related to not having index.html, I have a good news is that Flutter build now, Flutter, there is a PR that is going to check index.html if it exists or not. So if it doesn't exist, then it will throw an error and exit. All right, so we knew that ThemeData, accent color brightness, accent icon theme, and accent text themes properties have been depreciated because the material design spec no longer specifies or uses an accent color for material tools. So there was some news about it for sure, and some even article or links regarding the migration guide on Flutter documentation, but that was not in Flutter source codes. So now this is there is a PR that is going to add them to the Flutter framework as well. So keep in mind that these properties are deprecated if you didn't know before. All right, there is a new feature to scrollbar widget, which is adding mainAxisMargin property. So, and by doing that, this property, what it does, it's going to just show a distance from a scrollbar's start and end to the edge of the viewport. So in the logical pixels. So that's a good improvement. So if you have faced some kind of issues that this PR or this property can help. So I have a good news for you that it's landed on master. All right. So after reviewing Flutter Engine PRs and Flutter Framework PRs, which have been merged in the last 7 days. Of course, I didn't mention all of the PRs. There were a lot of them. I just went through the most important ones. So there was not much update and PRs in Flutter SDK. In Dart SDK. So now let's talk about the social or community news. I have a couple of them, so probably it's interesting to you. The first one is another milestone for Flutter repo, which just crossed around 124,000 stars, and that's an amazing milestone that we reached. And all right, if you are a user of Flutter Color Scheme package by Mike, I have a good news for you that Mike has released a new version, and it's an interesting version because that's also addressing some of the deprecated stuff that we just talked about in this episode. If you are not familiar with Flex Color theme, so you can definitely find it out on pop.dev. And I've seen a very good news from a friend of mine, Mangridas, a GDE for Flutter as well, who has written several articles about Flutter design patterns. And that's amazing. You can find these articles on Mangridas Medium, as well as you can check out the repository who is posting all of the sample codes on that. So this repo apparently has crossed or has reached 100 forks, which is amazing. Congrats to my friend about this. And last but not least, Riverpod. I've seen an update from Remy that says the Riverpod version 1, it's nearly done and it's ready. And he said that maybe a cup of the teas, and then we can benefit from the first stable version of Riverpod package. So if you are using or you are waiting for Riverpod to come out to become stable, you will see that hopefully very soon. Thank you very much, everyone, to listen to me or watch me on YouTube. I really appreciate if you can send me your feedback and comments. I will definitely take them into account for the next episodes. I do have a lot of plan for Flutter Sunday show. I would promise and guarantee I will improve this show over time. Bear with me. If you have any updates, any news, or anything that you want me to share with everyone in Flutter Sunday Show, please send me a email, or maybe reach me out on Twitter or LinkedIn. You can find me almost everywhere. So, and I will definitely take them into account for the next episodes. With that said, I hope you will start your Monday super duper energetic. See you next Sunday. Stay safe, never give up.